Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Kodeations. In today's video, we're going to be diving back into some Cookie Run Kingdom and specifically revisiting the PVE tier list for the end of October. So without further ado, guys, let's dive right in. Diving right in, ladies and gentlemen, so starting us off here with the video, we're going to be jumping into the tier list, and with that being said, it's going to be purely subjective. As always, guys, you might not agree with everything on this list, and if that is the case, then I invite you guys to drop a comment down below. Let me know what you disagree on and what you feel like needs to be changed. Starting us off here, we've got SS all the way down to D rank, and for SS here, obviously we've got the brand new ancient cookies and the one and only legendary cookie in the game. All three of these deserve to be here on SS just because purely they're the best in their class. The next one up we've got, that's going to be 2 additional cookies for SS. That's going to be one and only licorice and the DC or dark choco. Now, the reason why both of these are going to be here placed as well alongside the ancients and legendary is going to be because they literally can fit any team composition when it comes to PvE content, and they're going to offer a ton of value. Next up we've got here, and that's going to bring us to the S rank. We're going to house a ton of different cookies, but we're going to start it off with the 2 most predominant damage dealers you're going to see across the board that can literally be added to any team composition and going to be ideally used across most team compositions when it comes to PvE. That's going to be Black Raisin and Sorbet Shark. Following close by, we're going to have, and that's going to be Strawberry Crepe. If you do not have a DC or a Hollyberry, I think Strawberry Crepe is going to be a very good choice as well to run in the overall PvE aspect of the game, no matter which game content you're covering. Next up we've got, that's going to be Moon Rabbit. Then we're going to jump into doing Vampire. We've got Mango. We've got Parfait. And here's going to be where the first change happens for our PvE tier list, and that's going to be the brand new Pumpkin Pie Cookie. I definitely think that Pumpkin Pie deserves to be on S tier for PvE content. I think when it comes to the overall arena or PvP aspect of the game, Pumpkin Pie is 100% going to be SS tier. But when it comes to PvE, I don't think that you have to have her because she's not going to be very vital outside of, different types of PvE content. I think she can add a ton of value to any team composition, but she's definitely not going to be the top of the line. I still think running a licorice and things like the guild boss battle as of right now is going to be a better option when it comes to consistency versus running something like the pumpkin pie. With that being said, guys, that is going to complete our S tier. Moving right along to A tier, we're going to house a ton of different cookies as well. We're going to go ahead and place them all out, and then we're going to revisit each one of them in a second. But basically, all these from A tier are going to be not terrible cookies, but they're also not going to be your #1 investment, in my opinion. I think overall, when it comes to the A tier, starting us off, we've got Raspberry here. Raspberry, a very good single target damage dealer that's going to be literally targeting the enemy's highest attackers. Again, a very good unit to add to your team, but because she does lack the AoE ability, which is going to be what's really, really coveted when it comes to PvE content in the game, I really think that's going to be why she's placed on A and not necessarily breaking it for S tier for me. We've got Rye Cookie, same principle applies, a really good single target overall damage dealer, can add a ton of single target damage to your team, but at the same time, not going to offer a whole lot of anything outside of that single target damage. We've got Latte here, which does provide AoE, but again, lackluster when it comes to something to like Sorbet Shark and your Black Raisins, for my opinion, and Mango, because Mango does provide that AoE damage, and not only that, has a knockback ability and some attack rate up. Next up, we've got, it's going to be Pastry Cookie, applying a little bit of AoE damage, but it's going to be pretty much built around like attack speed, and a very selfish cookie because it's only going to be applying attack speed buff to herself. Next up, we've got, that's going to be Lily. Lily is very, very good for certain different stages in the world exploration mode when it comes to things like 725. So definitely not a cookie or a bad cookie to invest in, especially because you can also cross her with running her in the arena. So you're kind of getting, 2 birds with 1 stone when it comes to investing experience jellies. But outside of that, I think she's kind of lackluster for an overall damage dealer. We've got Mint here and Herb. They're kind of on par with each other when it comes to heals, although with Mint providing something a little bit additional versus somebody like Herb. And not only that, you can use Mint in the overall arena, again, just like Lily, so you are getting more bang for your buck when it comes for experience jellies and investment. Next up, we've got, that's going to be Poison Mushroom, very, very good, absolutely excels in the guild boss battle, but outside of that, just provides AoE damage. Again, nothing too crazy, and for a lot of stages outside of the guild boss battle, when it comes to world exploration, it just takes absolutely way too long for the damage to tick on that poison ability that's being applied, which really is just kind of lackluster versus somebody like a Black Raisin or a Sorbet. Moving right along to the next two we've got, and that's going to be Sonic and Tails. Both of these are placed in A, but I'm going to tell you guys right now, I see a lot of new players making this mistake. Do not use Sonic and Tails, guys, if you happen to have only a single copy of them, or you've got other better damage dealers. They are going to be ambush cookies, but I definitely don't think that they're worth investing in because you can no longer promote them anymore. You can't get additional copies of these two cookies, and not only that, their specialty rank is going to be a lower base stat value than the basic epic cookies, so absolutely I would invest in better cookies, but nevertheless, if that's all you've got, especially just jumping into the game for the very first time, that's all you got. Maybe you started when the Sonic and Tails event officially dropped. Whatever the case may be, use them if you got them. They are on A tier. And concluding our A tier, we've got, that's going to be Mala Sauce. Mala Sauce, again, very, very good AoE damage dealer here. However, it is going to be a charge cookie. So obviously, you got to keep that in mind that the first initial attack percent or basically base attack value is not going to be as good as ambush cookies. Moving it along to B tier, we've got, and again, we've got only a handful of cookies here for B tier, but nevertheless, we're going to go ahead and place them all out. Concluding our B tier, we've got, and that's going to be Twizzle Gummy. Twizzle Gummy on apple jellies or searing raspberries can be utilized as a damage dealer overall, but in my opinion, I think she's going to still really, really shine in the overall PvP aspect of the game, not so much of the PvE aspect. I think she can add a ton of value, just like somebody like Squid Ink can for overall damage if you're just looking to fill in a damage dealer role, but outside of that, I definitely think you should be picking those damage dealer roles from A and SS tier before ever diving into B, in my opinion. Same thing goes for somebody like, RV, arguably my favorite cookie in the game, cosmetically, but outside of that, he only has some, niche uses when it comes to certain stages, kind of like Tiger Lily does with PvE content. The difference here is a lot of people aren't even using RV in the overall arena, so you're not really getting what you could be getting with utilizing somebody like Lily to do the exact same thing RV could when it comes to running PvE. Again, the rest of them, take it for what it's worth. They all have certain uses and niches if you just don't have anything else to replace them with. Moving right along to C tier, we've got, and that's going to house our second change for our tier list video, and that's going to be Snow Sugar is officially moving up from D tier to C tier. Some people could argue potentially moving her up to B tier. It really just going to depend, but one thing to keep in mind when it comes to PvE versus PvP is going to be that your cookies do a lot more moving when it comes to PvE aspect of the game. When it comes to PvP, they're pretty much stationary, and that's going to be the reason why somebody like Snow Sugar has climbed up that list for me in overall rank for PvP, but when it comes to PvE, your cookies are moving just way too much for Snow Sugar and Snow King to really, hone in on doing as much damage as she possibly can, because Snow King is going to be constantly moving along with her moving, and it just makes it really, really tough. So I don't think she moves up too much here. I'm just going to place her on C tier. You guys let me know down below in the comments what your thoughts are if you've built a Snow Sugar and you think that she should be ranked higher. Now, obviously, last but not least, guys, we've got to house all of our D-ranked cookies. Once again, I don't think that it's going to be worth using any of these cookies ranked down here in D. At the end of the day, these should be your last choice investments. If you happen to get them early game and that's all you've got, then obviously invest in them at that point, but I just don't think it's going to be purely worth your investment whatsoever. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to officially conclude the PVE tier list for the end of the month of October. I know we're officially in November 3rd at the time of you guys checking out this video, but nevertheless, I wanted to just end this off with it being the end of October's tier list because we are just diving fresh into the month of November. We have no clue what cookies are going to come down the pipeline. I almost bet that by the end of the month of November, we might even get our next legendary in the game, which absolutely deserves another update to the overall tier list. Guys, as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what your overall thoughts are, and don't forget to join the Discord, man. The link's provided down below in the description. We've got over literally 4,300 players. We're gaining like 100 players per day, which is absolutely ridiculous. We would love to have you guys over there, and with that being said, as always, I'll see you guys on the next one.